Hello and welcome back. Today we have Platinum Review number 59, Cat Quest 3. Developed by the Gentle Bros and published by Kepler Interactive, Cat Quest 3 was released in 2024 for the PlayStation 5. A follow-up to 2019's Cat Quest 2, this cat-filled action RPG now takes on a high seas pirate theme with familiar gameplay and a few new additions. As the game begins, a brief cutscene sets the stage for things to come, and introduces the legendary North Star treasure, which will serve as the focal point of the story.
Arr! Gather round, mateys, and listen to the tale of the most legendary treasure of all. Many a moon ago, the North Star itself crashed from the heavens. Those lucky enough to get their paws on it could seek out their every heart's desire. Ooh. Seekers, they call themselves. Show a bit of imagination, yeah, mother of pearl. But them seekers, fearful of sharing its mighty power, concealed the North Star so no other soul could lay claim to it. Years drifted by. And as ye be aware, tales become myth, and myth becomes legend. And legend be the makings for some fine pirate treasure, eh?
Before venturing out, the player can select the starting difficulty and hairstyle and gender of the main protagonist. I couldn't really tell which was which, and it doesn't really matter, since the main character is a cat and can be whatever you want. After setting up the game, another cutscene introduces the background of the main character. This nameless cat was shipwrecked as a baby and left stranded due to aggressive pirates. Luckily, he was found by a pirate spirit, Captain Cappy, who looked after him for the next 15 years. Together, they sail the seas looking for treasure. They land in Katuga, in search of the North Star treasure. The player controls a cat pirate, who we will call Jack, since he doesn't have a name. Jack is a seeker, with a special symbol etched upon the back of his head. From here, the player learns the basic controls, such as attacking and dodging. As with the previous games, the player must read the enemy movements to avoid attacks and counter-strike. This time, there is no red circle or lines to indicate the area of damage. Instead, the player has to learn and memorize the different enemies and their various attack patterns. It is best to move in and quickly back up when first encountering a new foe. Then, you can prepare accordingly and follow up with a proper strategy. Defeating enemies, and throughout exploration, Jack will earn both gold and experience points. The enemies don't show a level meter above their head, so you will have to experiment, and oftentimes find out the hard way, whether you are adequately powerful for an encounter. Fortunately, there are rest locations all throughout the overworld, which will save your progress and restore all health and mana. Be sure to frequent these often, as dying will result in the loss of all progress since your previous save. The game will autosave after key moments, but does not always during general exploration. Also available at the rest locations is the ability to tag in a second player for local co-op. As Jack explores Katuga, he will discover his first treasure chest. Within is a piece of gear, a pirate bandana. Equipping gear will alter Jack's appearance, as well as boost his offensive or defensive stats. Collecting treasure will be tracked both on screen and on the map, so you can see how much treasure is hidden in each area. Further along the island, Jack will encounter an enemy with a long-range attack. This presents the perfect opportunity to utilize a ranged weapon of his own. In Cat Quest III, Jack possesses both a close-quarters melee and long-range projectile weapon from the start. With Katuga fully explored and looted, Jack approaches a nearby star room. This ancient seeker tool will interact with star pillars around the map, which can be used to guide the player toward their intended goal. Cat Quest III is a pirate adventure, so exploration and looting is highly encouraged, but if you ever need guidance or get lost, the star pillars can redirect you back towards progressing the story. The star rune speaks to Jack, but only he can hear the message. Cappy is confused, but they are interrupted by Squeaky, a pirate, and his comrades. This battle introduces the player to the basics of casting magic and the mana meter. Magic is limited in use, but striking an opponent with a physical attack will recharge the mana meter. It turns out, Squeaky works for the most dangerous pirate of the high seas, the Pirate King. To help in battle, Mr. Clean arrives, and Jack must battle this giant rat in the first boss fight of the game. Jack takes him out, and after leveling up, commandeers their ship for himself. Found on each island are docks, which can be used to summon your ship. The ship has its own health meter, stats, and attacks, adding a new awesome mechanic for both exploration and combat. Now, the player is free to sail wherever they would like. The ship is a destructive force that can bully weaker ships for XP and loot. Before heading to Pot Pravana, Jack heads to a nearby cave, which will serve as the first dungeon of the game. While there are not as many as the previous titles, these serve as special areas to explore and loot for upgraded gear. In Cat Quest III, the caves do not have an indicated level, so you have to test them out for yourself to see if you are ready. Luckily, each has a save point at the start, in case you are under-leveled and instantly die. Defeating all of the enemies within and looting every chest will complete the dungeon, leaving it plundered and checked off on the map. As Jack collects loot, he will earn various types of weapons and gear he can equip. He can utilize 2 weapon slots, 2 gear slots, and a new trinket slot for added customization. Each piece of equipment will have unique stats, perks, and style, so customize to your preferred look and combat strategy. Upon making landfall at Pot Pervana, Jack learns that some treasure may be hidden in plain sight behind seemingly normal-looking objects, so be sure to fully explore every inch of the map for secrets. If at any time you would like some pointers and advice, visit the light mouse for some guidance. He may at times provide information you have already figured out yourself, but some is helpful, such as details on the 3 main pirate factions. Nearby, Jack and Cappy visit the Magic Bone, a magic shop owned by a rare dog mage. Here, Mage Boney can upgrade Jack's magic spells in exchange for magic crystals, which Jack will find throughout his travels. Each spell can be leveled up to level 3, and before they leave, Mage Boney provides a free Light Neon spell. Continuing to talk to Mage Boney will earn a second freebie, the Furry Shield. Right next door is the blacksmith shop, operated by Kid Cat, the younger brother of Kit. Here, he can upgrade Jack's weapons and gear in exchange for gold. However, he is not the only way to power up. While looting, finding a duplicate item will boost the level and stats of the one in inventory, so spend your gold wisely. Back outside, Jack and Cappy witness the dangerous presence and aura surrounding the Pirate King, who appears to be searching for the North Star treasure as well. In search of clues, they head into the Milky Barrel, a tavern run by Mala Milka, an old acquaintance of Cappy. When she finds out they are searching for the North Star treasure, she is less than optimistic, as she has heard the Pirate King and the Meowtalica crew have teamed up. Cappy is undeterred, but seems to have an ulterior motive. Before leaving, Jack reads up on some of Mama Milka's bounty posters. In exchange for defeating powerful foes, she will reward stat-boosting upgrades. From here, Jack and Cappy can follow the Star Guide, or explore to their heart's desire. Distracted by the allure of treasure, Jack and Cappy embark on a side quest nearby. Unfortunately, their eagerness is taken advantage of, and Patchy scams them. Angered, they pursue him in battle. Defeating him will earn a new type of close-range weapon. Throughout the game, there are a wide variety of different weapons, each with a unique style, speed, and mechanic for an added personal touch. Before going back to the Star Guide, Jack and Cappy continue to explore, loot, level up, and complete side tasks. Along the way, they will find upgrades for the ship in certain chests. At one point, they discover a strange character by the shore. This turns out to be none other than Alias, who transports Jack to the Zero Dimension, leaving Cappy behind. Within, Alias briefly recaps the events of Cat Quest 1. Visiting Alias will increase Jack's mana by 1 as he exits the Zero Dimension. Strangely, Cappy was unaware of what just happened, and thinks Jack just zoned out. Now, back to the story. Following the Star Guide leads Jack to Catface Mountain, but unfortunately, the entrance to the nearby ruins is locked, requiring 3 different keys. In search of the first, Jack and Cappy follow the Star Guide once again, which leads them to the Orion ruins. At the entrance, they are confronted by Captain Meowtalica, but are not powerful enough to enter yet. Unfazed by the warning, Jack and Cappy decide to enter the Orion ruins anyway. The ruins are a large, multi-floor dungeon to explore, with powerful enemies, and of course, loot to collect. At the end of the dungeon, they spot Captain Meowtalica in front of a locked gate. Unable to gain passage, he leaves, but for some reason, the gate opens without issue as Jack approaches. Beyond the gate lies a mural of the North Star treasure. As they admire the artwork, a strange spirit arrives. This pirate is Seeker Orion, who proceeds to attack Jack and Cappy. After a tough fight, Orion is struck down, while Jack is rewarded with strength, a new magic spell, and the first key to the ruins by Catface Mountain. With one down, they head out in search of the other 2 keys. Before they make it too far, Jack is distracted by a strange gold coin that is far more elusive than any seen before. He follows it through the sea to a hidden chest. Contained within is a golden key to an unknown golden tower, so he stores this for later. After some more exploration, Jack reaches the ancient structure, the Antares runes. Inside is another large and complex dungeon full of danger and reward. Once again, Meowtalica stands before a locked gate and cannot pass, so he leaves, but Squeaky stays behind. He confronts Jack, but is pathetically defeated in an instant, as the gate opens without issue once again for Jack. This time, beyond the gate, lies a mural of the North Star itself, and another, unfriendly and aggressive foe, Seeker Antares. Another tough fight ensues as Antares tries to stop Jack and Cappy from reaching the North Star treasure. Eventually, Antares is defeated, and Jack is rewarded with wisdom, a new magic spell, and another key to the ruins by Catface Mountain. Now, only one key remains. Jack and Cappy follow the Star Guide to the Centauri ruins, but the entrance is blocked. To unlock it, they must disable 2 nearby pillars. After reaching the first one, Jack again encounters Alias. This time, he briefly recaps the events of Cat Quest 2 and the King's Blade. Jack is once again rewarded with an increase in mana, but Cappy is still unaware of Jack's interdimensional encounters. After disabling the second pillar, Jack and Cappy can now enter the Centauri ruins. Inside is another large dungeon to explore. However, at the end of the chamber is not a mural, but rather the Oinker Chief, who does not want to allow passage. After a tense battle, the Oinker Chief is defeated. Appreciative of a hard-hitting foe, he gives Jack the final key to the ruins by Catface Mountain. After arriving though, Jack and Cappy find themselves trapped in a pirate ambush. Jack fights off waves of enemies, followed by another battle with Mr. Clean, but in the end is victorious and enters the ruins. This ancient structure, the Polaris Ruins, are another large dungeon, with puzzles to solve and enemies to take down. At the end of the dungeon lies the Pirate King himself. He mocks Jack and Cappy, claiming he is responsible for the shipwreck when Jack was a baby, and even now he is using them, as only a seeker could have unlocked the ruins. Yet, he was already inside, so I'm not really sure how that works. He questions their motives, and explains his, as he has a Barbossa-like curse upon him, which, honestly, is a really good reason for wanting the treasure, while Cappy is still a bit sketchy with his intentions. After growing tired of smack talk, the Pirate King summons Meowtalica to handle Jack, and leaves. Jack battles his heavy metal pirates, and defeats them with ease. Impressed, Meowtalica gives Jack a free ticket to his upcoming concert, leaving them confused by his sudden change of heart. After, they acquire the Infinity Key, which grants access to the Infinity Tower. Too intrigued by the free concert, Jack and Cappy head there first. To reach the concert, they must battle the powerful Meowtalica ship in a battle of nautical supremacy. After taking out the ship, they arrive at the concert. Curiosity killed the cat, and unfortunately, the concert was a trap set by the captain to steal their souls. They battle in a rock-filled and epically electrified fight. Turns out, Captain Meowtalica and his crew are cursed as well. They must feed upon the energy of others, or else they cease to exist. Realizing that the Pirate King was making false promises, the Meowtalica crew back out and are no longer a threat or desire the North Star treasure. With one pirate faction subdued, Jack and Cappy head to the Infinity Tower, where they find Charon, Ferryman of the Dead. Inside, Jack discovers the Pirate King has beaten him there. Which, again, I'm not sure how he got in without the key, but whatever. Jack takes on waves of pirate enemies to reach the top. At the top waits the North Star. Trapped elsewhere, the North Star seeks to reclaim its true form. It bestows upon Jack its essence, in the hope he can release it from its prison. As they leave the Infinity Tower, a strange force pulls Jack towards the Sunset Isles, home of the Taco Meowki pirates. But before heading there, Jack has some unfinished business with the Pirate King. So, he searches until he discovers his secret hideout. To gain access, he must defeat the Pirate King's powerful flagship. Unfortunately, this proved to be too much, so Jack and Cappy ventured off into some side quests to power up. This journey saw them challenge ice pirates, fire pirates, and battle for evil-looking twin towers to uncover the Necropomicon. With this new strength, Jack and Cappy returned to the Pirate King's hideout and took out his powerful flagship, unlocking the path forward. Within, the Pirate King is confronted, where he explains why he chose the Dragon's Rest as his hideout, and once again, why he needs the North Star. Jack is determined to stop the Pirate King, so they finally do battle one-on-one. With the Pirate King defeated, only one major faction remains, so Jack and Cappy head to the Sunset Isles in search of Captain Taco Miyauki. Upon landing at the Sunset Isles, they discover the captain, who believes the North Star treasure lies beyond a secret door, which he has locked with 3 keys. Captain Taco Miyauki is desperate to impress his father, and desires the North Star treasure to help in that cause. However, Jack and Cappy overhear a conversation between the captain and one of his followers, so they now know exactly where to look for the 3 keys. One by one, they easily get past the Taco Miyauki defenses to secure the 3 Tentakeys. This leaves the captain increasingly frustrated by the ineffectiveness of the spicy squid pirates, but Cappy, it turns out, is a huge fanboy. After acquiring the Tentakeys, Jack will encounter Alias once again. This time, he details the impending doom of the apocalypse. To aid Jack in his journey, Alias provides yet another increase in mana, as he desires Jack to acquire the North Star treasure, the final artifact he needs. Fully prepared, Jack enters Volcano Mountain in search of the North Star treasure. Inside, he finds Captain Taco Meowki waiting, and they battle for the treasure. With Captain Taco Meowki defeated, the North Star treasure lies just ahead, which is a good thing, as Cappy is acting strange. There's no turning back now, and beyond the door lies the Zero Dimension. Within, they search for the North Star treasure, where many dangers stand in their way, and miraculously, so does Squeaky, who is seeking revenge for his boss. To get past, Jack battles Mr. Clean one final time. As they reach the end of a long chamber, Cappy malfunctions again. This causes him to come clean with the truth, and he tells Jack of his escape from Purgatory. His time is running out, and he seeks the North Star treasure for help. Finally, after a long journey, Jack and Cappy reach the true North Star. Much to their surprise, the Pirate King is still not giving up. Despite his deteriorating condition, he continues to fight, but is a shell of his former power. Yet again, Squeaky and Mr. Clean arrive to support their boss, and decide that he will no longer carry the curse's burden alone. This angers the North Star, as it desires to be a god, and with the Pirate King and his followers no longer interested, it has less to worship it. From the beginning, the North Star intended the Seekers to do its bidding, but over time, they grew to fear the North Star, and trapped it within the Zero Dimension. Desperate for power, the North Star tries to seize Jax, but Cappy makes the ultimate sacrifice for his friend. Enraged by the death of his only friend, Jack battles the North Star. Jack is ultimately victorious, restoring the North Star to its original form and greatly pleasing Alias, who was watching on. As mentioned earlier, the North Star is the final artifact Alias needs, so he takes it and leaves. As Cappy clings to what little life remains, him and Jack embrace, but miraculously, Cappy is revived. Back in the Zero Dimension, Alias returns to the other aliases. It turns out he had a soft spot and gave life back to Cappy in appreciation of Jack defeating the North Star for him. The different alias discuss their next move as they prepare for the apocalypse, with a teaser towards what should be an epic conclusion in Cat Quest IV. With this, the game ends. Now available is New Game Plus, with more powerful enemies and an increased level cap. To earn the Platinum Trophy, the game reverts to the moment before pursuing the North Star in a zero dimension. At this point, you will have all story-related trophies, and the rest will be completed by seeing and doing all there is in the game. A good amount of these will be related to individual side quests. Although there is no trophy for reaching the max level, you will need to get quite powerful to defeat certain enemies. These include taking out all wanted poster bounties, including the dreaded Duck of Doom and Cthulhu. Other side quests with associated trophies include completing various different dungeons. One of these is the Golden Tower, which was hinted at earlier. This requires finding hidden golden keys throughout the game to unlock different floors of the tower to defeat enemies and collect loot. Another is the Love Purr dungeon, in which Jack and Cappy will complete pages in a love story through a choose-your-own-adventure style of quest, culminating in a boss battle. This one was a unique change of pace and fun addition. Another will see Jack and Cappy rescue a mermaid, who desires her Prince Charming. This requires Jack and Cappy to use a shell phone to find underwater treasure at specially marked locations. Finding them all and returning to the mermaid will see her meet her Prince Charming in a shocking twist. By far, though, the best side quest was easily the 8-bit dungeon, which had an amazing Castlevania style of music, art theme, and battles. Another major section of trophies will be collectible related. Throughout your journey, you will find countless loot, which is tracked on the in-game map. You must fully explore all of the Caribbean and collect all pieces of equipment, acquire all ship blueprints, open 80 treasure chests, complete all puzzle stones, find all hidden items, and learn all 10 spells. Although each spell can be leveled up, as can the equipment, there is no trophy associated with doing so. There is a ton to discover, and so much more to explore by sailing the seas. Uncovering everything there is to do will reward the Platinum Trophy. Cat Quest III was another excellent addition to the Cat Quest series. Although it was unique and different than the first two games, this isn't a bad thing, as it stands strong on its own, and with just a $20 digital price tag, provides substantial bang for your buck. This time, there was less focus on dungeon crawling, with a more intense focus on looting. Those dungeons that did exist were multi-floored and more complex. It was strange to not see the infamous level 0 or level 200 cave to take on. But as usual, the developers of the game, the Gentle Bros, did make an appearance if you explore outside the map boundaries. They expressed their genuine gratitude in a nod to the fans, and in my opinion, the sentiment is returned in full, as the Cat Quest series provides some truly heartwarming moments and simply wonderful times, as the games are amazing. Some other changes include vastly improved visuals, with incredibly vivid and colorful environments, with a massively increased field of view, to see islands and places to explore in the far distance. This created a whole new level of immersion to get lost in the Cat Quest universe. The usual cat-themed puns and jokes return, with pop culture references and Easter eggs throughout, but now with a pirate theme. Although some jokes could be a bit cheesy at times, it was done so in the perfect way, with charm and wholesome fun. The combat system was expanded upon, with multiple types of close range and melee weapons, each with unique perks, stats, and abilities, as well as 10 different spells. The different builds and strategies were endless, so you could change things up whenever you desire, or play the story again with new techniques to challenge yourself. The ship was an awesome, powerful, and destructive addition that added a new layer to combat and exploration. While I loved the bounty system, most of these were obtained throughout the story progression and didn't really serve as in-game or side content as I expected. However, the Infinity Tower can be replayed as endgame content to see how strong you really are. The floor will rise through countless waves of enemies. Taking them out quickly will add time, and the goal is to get as high up the tower as possible before time runs out. This was a great addition to the game, and something that allowed the player to test different builds and challenge themselves with different playstyles to compete for a high score. Overall, Cat Quest III was a wonderful game, full of emotional storytelling, intense battles on the high seas, and looting for hidden treasure, all contained within a beautifully immersive, pirate-themed universe. This is an action-packed, yet relaxing, fun-filled adventure that can be completed in relatively short order. I recommend this game for anyone that is a fan of action RPGs, especially those that played the previous game, as it is a strong entry with its own identity. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time for Platinum Review number 60.